Sion, welcome. We are here at the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference in Boston. It's a great conference, but I think it's about a very important subject, economic subject, value subject.
Absolutely.
Why are you here?
Well, I think working in Australian sports and recognizing the opportunity which data brings for sports organizations, it's very important to see how big industries like the American industry, but also the European industry and even organizations from Australia show successful utilization of data and the opportunities what data can bring in terms of business model growth or in more or less the growth of engagement, marketing purposes. So what I'm doing here is really looking into what kind of opportunities, in the broader sense of the word, data can bring for sports.
Okay. Is it only about data or is it about digitization as a whole? Because I can imagine that fans like to engage through digital platforms. They use their social media, they're following their favorite athletes, etc.
Well, in the end, it all comes down to what's the ascension of sports, right? It's an entertainment product which is here to get the eyeballs of fans. And if you talk about getting the eyeballs, it's about digital channels, it's about media, it's about betting, it's about athletes. So yes, it's the whole range which influences sports.
Yeah. I think one of the important things is that media behavior is changing. People are consuming content in different ways compared to 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but even 5 years ago. What are for you the most important changes in consumer fan media behavior?
Well, I think you can look at it from two perspectives. From a device and a content point of view, the perspective that content has become much more short format, so much more highlight focused and accessible through all kind of devices on your mobile phone, on your laptop, 24 hours a day. And the other perspective is that sports traditionally is a very much match or event-driven product. And I think in the digital world, it has shifted much more to a fan-focused industry. So creating content not only about the match and the events anymore, but everything around it, building engagement products and trying to find ways to communicate with fans about those extra layers of the model. So for me, it's about not only the devices and the content, but also the way how you look at the distribution of your sports.
Yeah, and an interesting shift in power is happening, because the role of the individual player is becoming bigger and bigger because he or she has its own followers, its own fan base. What's happening over there? Can you tell something about it?
I think the uprise of social media in general has given athletes the opportunity to directly connect with fans. And whereas in the past, the only eyeballs from fans to athletes were through traditional broadcasters or actually going to an event. And because that is one-to-one communication right now, athletes have the power to build fan bases of their own, which are much bigger than, for example, the fan base of a league or even the club or a team. So the possibility for athletes in the digital age is, well, almost unlimited.
Yeah. And so right holders have to think about how they involve athletes within the business model of the sports industry. I think that's very important for them, because if you ignore it, it will be very difficult to grow your value.
I think if you acknowledge that sports fans are consuming sports content in a different way, and hence also through contact with players, it is very important to find a way to bring everything in balance from an athlete's, team, club and league perspective to utilize where the attention is going and therefore where the money is going. Yep.
You've seen a lot of presentations today. What was for you the most impressive thing you heard today?
Well, I think it's the presentation about betting, and the betting industry obviously is an industry where data is integrated for a very long way already. And that's always been focused on the algorithms to optimize the products and services which are communicated towards fans. And what I really like about the approach right now is that betting is being approached as an extra level of engagement towards your fans. And as I said, I think the sports industry is shifting from an event and match focused industry into engagement with fans and much more than the match itself. And betting
guided and steered by data.
Exactly, and betting is such a perfect example of a new way of engagement with fans, bringing them into the ecosystem of sports, which as a foundation of data.
You could say when you strive for growth, you have to fine-tune all the details in the connection with your audience, with your fan base.
Yeah, I think, in the end, it's about getting the attention and retaining the attention. And if you lose it because you're not relevant, the experience is not optimal digital, it's not automated, it's not fast enough, that are all the factors that determine a digital success, if that makes sense, for a fan. So it's very important for sports to control those micro data moments and utilize exactly those moments to bring better engagement or more commercial activity, more conversion, whatever your goal is in that specific moment.
Yeah. If you match the challenges of your customers in Australia,
Yep.
and you match it with the content and the presentation of today, is it a 100% match?
100%, 100%. Sports analytics, MIT Sloan conference was always about the performance side of data and the business side of data. Or sorry, more the performance side. Now it's also about the business side of data.
The marketing side.
The marketing side. Every topic is a direct 100% match with what I'm experiencing every day in the Australian industry. It's about centralizing data, getting rid of the fragmentation, utilizing that data for business purposes, growing engagement, finding ways to monetize, new ways of monetization in the fans, and of course to stimulate the existing revenue streams for sports. It's all in here. The athlete part. Yep.
The CEO of Fanatics, he said, we are in the business of delivering a better experience for fans. That's the only thing. It's the only business we are in, not in products, but in delivering better experience for fans. I think that's what many sports organizations want to realize. Huh?
Yeah, I think his vision makes 100% sense. Not focus on growth, focus on making it better for every stakeholder, fan, athlete, and club. And of course, growth and making things better represents also commercial growth.
Tomorrow we will be back with the second day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.